So you need to make an access database off of some sample data contained in Excel. Perfect. Let's open up Access. Let's open up my script. There. Okay, so we'll open up Access, select a blank database, name it whatever you want to, hit create. First thing we're going to do is it has a table here. We don't need it, so we'll close it. That nukes it out. I have saved a sample data set that I created onto my desktop, and it's here. I'll show you what it contains. For this one, we're pretending that I am booking dates for concerts. We have an event date, a band name, band phone, band lead singer, tickets bought, venue address, event description, transportation type, the date that the transportation was bought. So the plane was bought on the 1st of January 2010. I have a couple of roadies. I have a few roadies, last, first, and the date they were hired. All of this I want to make into a Access database. So I'm going to go back into Access, into my new database. If yours doesn't look black, that's just a setting, doesn't matter. We'll go to External Data, New Data Source, From File, Excel. We'll select our data. Sorry, it's on the desktop. And sample access, sample data set. We'll hit OK. Now we have to show the worksheets. There's only one in there for me, so it grabbed the data from that. We'll hit next. We'll tell it that the first row contains column headings, which it does. We'll hit next. You can specify information. This is where you can rename these fields if you wanted to. I'm not going to. And I'm just going to hit next. I'm going to let Access add its own primary key, so I don't have to be worried about that. And this is critical. I would like a wizard to analyze my table after importing the data. Finish. It's going to tell me the wizard is ready. So I say yes. Hit next. Hit next. And then it says, do you want the wizard to decide what fields go in what tables? No, I want to do that. This is where understanding your data a little bit and what tables are relevant becomes important. So you need a central table, and that's what we'll leave table 1 as. And that's where we're going to, if there were a new booking in the future, that's where I would put the booking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it bookings. Okay. Now this is where we start separating out repetitive data that's grouped the same. So an event date, that would probably go under the booking because it's unique. The tickets bought would be under bookings, right? So we start slicing the data here. I'm going to create a new table that describes the band only because it has repetitive data. I'm going to drag it over anywhere outside of there, and I'm going to call this band information. And the band has a phone number, so I'm going to drag that. And the band has a lead singer, so I'm going to drag that to there. So the next thing is the event description. This I know from reviewing the Excel data Excel file has repetitive data in it. If we go back into there, I'll show you why I'm slicing it this way. So the Foo Fighters has repetitive data, I know that. The lead singer repetitive data, so I've grouped these things together. The event date's unique. The event address is unique. But the event description, if I look here, and I'll apply a filter, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types. So I'm going to leave that on its own. Same with the bus, car, plane, train. So I'm going to make that on its own. So event description's on its own. The transportation type, I'll drag that over here and I'll call that transportation. And I'm going to say what day we bought the transportation. The last thing I want to do is information about the roadies. There's only a certain amount of roadies. So if we look at that, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roadies, and they're repetitive, and their hire date remains the same. So I can group that together as well. Roadie last. And if you, so roadie last, roadie first, and the date they were hired. So if you ever make a mistake or you want to change any of these headings, because these are now becoming my data tables that'll be named over here, I can click on here and I can call it band bookings. There's already a query there. Okay, so let's just call it bookings. Done. So now I've sliced the data into unique tables that are going to appear on the left. If you look here, this is what's called a primary key, and each table has a foreign key. This foreign key is band information. So every time I make an entry into the bookings table, it'll pull information from band information. Great. Then I'll hit next. And then here's something cool. Built into the Access functionality when it's pulling data from Excel, if there's a mistake, for example here, Sam Smith. Well, Sam's not his last name, it's his first name. And what Access is doing is telling me that it's found an error or something that doesn't make sense to it. And it suggested a correction. So it wants it to be Smith Sam, so his last name, then his first name, then his date hired. I have to go click the right one to replace that data with and hit next. From there, I don't want to create the query. Just want it to finish. I don't care about this warning message, and I'm not going to save the import steps because I'm never going to do this again. So, see what happened. Do I need band bookings anymore? No, I don't. The reason why we have band bookings is it's all of the data pulled in at once. So it'll always create an unnecessary table for you. So I'm going to eliminate band bookings. That's my source data, or I can even rename it if you want to. But I'm going to get rid of it because I don't need it anymore. There. So what do I have? I've got band information. See what happened here. Perfect. It grouped all of the entries together. The Bad Boys, P. Diddy lead singer, and a band phone number all matched up here. Perfect. If I click on this, I could see all of the entries in all the other tables. Done. I've got bookings. This is my central table that we created. This is where I will go to record new bookings if I ever get them and pull data from other tables. Event description. You see we had the 5 come through. Roadie info, you see we had the 4 come through. And transportation, you see we had the 4 come through. Perfect. So now we've got all of our stuff imported from Excel. What am I going to do next? Well, what I'm going to do, if I was wondering about how that stuff is laid out, I would go to relationships and it would show me the view of how we split the data. So that's good. I can close that. But really, what do we do with this now? Well, now we got to make queries. So how do we make queries? Well, the easiest way to make queries is to go up to decide, you have to decide what you want to make. So for this one, I want to make a query for the most popular band based on ticket sales, or the most quantity of tickets sold. So what I'll do is I'll go to Create, Query Wizard. I'll select Simple Query Wizard. And what I'll do is I'll pull what I need here. So I want band information. Well, the band name is going to be important. And I'll go to the table bookings. and I want to pull in tickets bought.